Alright, I figured we'd break out some of these old air circulator fans to test on the old kilowatt meter. Starting with this 2001 or so Lakewood WC2000. Now this came out after the cool operator kind of went downhill. The cool operator had gotten, honestly in my opinion, kind of cheap. And it was originally like a 7-blade fan like this thing, but then it, like, I don't know, over the years it just got cheaper and cheaper. I actually have a newer cool operator around here somewhere. I could test that on here too, I suppose. But anyway, this is basically the quote-unquote replacement for the cool operator. This has 7 blades, 7 braced blades. Lakewood. Now this 7-blade design was also used on the Lakewood 227 box fan, which actually used the same motor as this has, oddly enough. I mean, this is basically a 227 box fan, just in a more versatile form, if you will. I got this from another collector, I think last year, or the year before last year. I bought it because, you know, I always kind of liked these. And in a way, I always kind of wanted one. Lakewood Engineering Manufacturing Model WC2000, 120 volts, 60 hertz, 2.4 amps. Lakewood Engineering Manufacturing Company, Chicago, Illinois, 60612, USA. And it's 3 speeds. Now, I did cut this stuff because, I mean, if you don't, it kind of blocks a lot of the motor ventilation. But you can kind of see the motor there. It's one of those cheapo tuna can motors. Although these Lakewood ones aren't as bad as everybody gives them credit to be. I know there's a date code on here somewhere. I can't really see it. There you go. I think I was right. It's a 2002 model. January 2002. And if you can see, that motor stator is pretty thick on this thing. Well, you can't see now because it's out of focus. There we go. But yeah, it's got a pretty thick motor stator for a cheapo fan. You can get a better view of it from here. Yeah, see, it says Model 227 on that, but it's a WC2000. So my guess is, I think the 227 had got discontinued at some point, and they just used the leftover motors for these things. That's a theory. Not a game theory, but a fan theory. But anyway, we will test it on the old kilowatt meter. Here's high. This thing actually moves a lot of air. It's pretty powerful. I'd argue to say this moves more air than an Alaska wind machine at the time. Like, let's get the old American flag out. I mean, this thing's moving a lot of air. A lot more air than high, it's drawing 1.3 amps, 146 watts. But I mean, in a way, it makes up for it with how much air it's moving. It's not bad for a medium. I will say the early 2000s was probably the last gasp of good fans. wouldn't say they're like perfect. That kind of ended in the 90s. But this early 2000 stuff with the bigger tuna can motors, split capacitor, whatever you want to call it, some of it was pretty decent. Like this thing, for example. Still moving a pretty good deal of air. Showing 0.91 amps and 111 watts. Not bad for a race blade fan. We'll go to low. Low speed's pretty quiet. Again, moving a pretty decent breeze. I'd argue to say this is a pretty decent fan. And you don't hear about these things too much because not many people have them. It's moving a nice, calm breeze. It's going 0.65 amps and 79.76 watts. And I'll get the old flag out again. See, it's moving a pretty good deal of air, even all the way out here. It's not that bad of a fan. And we'll go back to high. And OWF spells off. And yes, this thing tilts and everything like a cool operator would. As you can, it clicks like the cool operator, so you can tilt it up. I believe it's like a 180 degree tilt, like a cool operator pretty much. But yeah, there is the Lakewood WC2000 air circulator fan. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.